morning peeps, it's day 5. So we encountered an issue last night. So do you remember I told you we stocked up with water in the White House pub on the way? And we were just laughing. We thought we were going to have plenty of water. We'd have like 1.5 litres left over for walking today. And then disaster struck. So what happened is I've got a camel pack, like a 3-litre camel pack in my rucksack. Don't know what happened, but the nozzle fell off the end of the hose pipe bit, like the bit where you bite to drink from, and basically all of the water drained out before I'd even noticed it had happened. So I lost my entire 3-litre pack of water. So then we ended up obviously having to share Paul's water. He had, at that point, I don't know, how much did you have then?
2 litres, 2 or 3 litres.
Yes, because we'd used his water for the dinner, so we'd had our dinner. We had a cup of soup. So yeah, we've basically, can you just show them your water, Paul?
So you've got that.
This is what we've got left, which is probably 1 litre and a bit. So we had to make the decision basically not to have a proper breakfast, to have like a cereal bar instead, because to make the overnight oats that I brought we need a cup, like 2 cups of water, 1 cup each, to rehydrate it. So we're going to ration our water, have like half a cup of water every time we feel thirsty until we encounter a water source. Now, looking at water sources, it's just really hard to tell, like if we're going to come across a stream or somewhere to restock. It's possible that we could just knock on someone's door and get some water, I guess. Have to see how it goes, but it could be 3 miles away, it could be just down the bottom of this hill, we're not actually sure. So we're basically just going to pack up and go without really like eating or drinking properly, apart from a little muesli bar thing, and just fingers crossed we can find water as soon as possible, because we're both quite thirsty. I mean, normally in the mornings we've been drinking like a good litre or 1.5 litres before we go anywhere. So to be reduced to just a few sips is quite depressing, really. Okay, I'll let you know when we find some water. Waterproof trousers. It's really clear in the wind. It's super misty. This is so crazy. We were walking along and then suddenly out of the mist right in front of us there's the Studley Pike monument, and you know, we could see it most of the afternoon like yesterday, and now here we are like 100 metres away from it and we couldn't see it until we start to get up close. It's quite big. It was built in 1856 when Napoleon went to, well actually it was built before that, but it fell down in 1855 and they rebuilt it in 1856, so this one's from 1856. Apparently it's covered in graffiti, I can't see that from here, but it's massive, and it's like yesterday's walk, it dominated the landscape, we kept seeing it, but it looked like a small trig on the landscape. It's just weird today. There's supposed to be a tremendous view off here, but you can't see anything at all. So we're still a bit concerned about water. We're going to stop here and give ourselves a ration of a few sips just to keep us going, and then keep going again. Fingers crossed there's going to be a stream or something. We'll find out. So I'm very excited to give you the view from Studley Pike. Paul's overwhelmed.
It's amazing, isn't it? Better than Everest.
You can just see so far. I've got no clue where we are actually. Yeah, there's so many things written into the stone, and random pictures of sheep and things. So we just came up the steps. There's all these like little spiral steps that are really dark, look. We came up, but disappointing, no view. There we go. We're going to have our sip of water now, I think. So we just came across this little farmhouse here, walk down the lane, and we just knocked on the door and the kind lady filled us up with water. So I've got my little pack here. The camel pack has now got 2 litres in it. So because we actually haven't had any breakfast, what we're going to do is look for a place where we can stop. We're going to walk down there. Still, I don't know, it's not too cold, but it's still quite misty, as you can see. So hopefully, yeah, we'll find a place to stop and get some proper breakfast and a cup of tea in us and things like that. Could have done with all this shade yesterday. Just come into this nice little sort of gently wooded area. There's a stream going down there as well, so that would have been a good water source for us. We're planning on stopping, getting ourselves some nice breakfast in. Just looking for a nice little picnic spot, really. This is Calais Bridge. We're very close to Hebden Bridge here as well. So there's a river, a road and a railway line just down here. We're going to cross over and then go up the other side, but this is one of the places that people often stop off at when they've done the leg that we've done, because we stopped a little bit shorter than what it says in the guidebook last night. Gosh, be careful if you bring your dog down here. Look, we've seen a couple of these signs. Your dog could be shot if found amongst the sheep. The funniest thing about that is there's not a sheep in sight. And there's a sign here for cattle. Yeah, here's the Airbnb accommodation. So we've got to cross the water, the road and the railway line. Here's the river. And on the other side of that, I think that there's a canal as well with boats. We just saw some boats further along. So, and there's the road. First really steep section for a while. So we just met these really nice people. We met a nice guy who stocked us up with water again, and a lady that tried to give us a loaf of bread, which is really sweet. Oh look, we can see the Studley Pike monument in the background there. It's showing up very well on the video actually. Can't zoom in to show you on this mode. So we're going up this kind of pack horse section at the moment, which has these really cute houses on it. So on this section there's a sign that says Pennine Way, Wainwright route is left up here, and the official route is through that gate over there. So I guess we'll be doing the official route because I'm following the GPS on the Garmin, which tells us to go the official route. We're warming up a lot now because we've just come up this quite steep hill behind me. So Paul's just getting into his shorts. I've had to take him a couple of layers off now, so it's just actually quite a nice temperature. We're not too overheated, and it makes it walking so much easier when you can just cool down and not be sweating constantly and worrying about water the whole time. So we've stocked up with water again from the nice chap back there. If we can get some pasties, we're laughing.
Studley Pike there.
Yeah. So, across the field, I guess.
Yeah.
This guy will wake you up if you're half asleep. He's a little bit scary looking, isn't he? Looks like we're walking through someone's garden now. Sort of came from the path in the field over there. So I've been trying to work out for the last few hundred meters what this really odd smell is that I can smell. It's like, what? Is that like a countryside smell? What is that smell? And then I've just realised that it's actually me. But I don't smell like me anymore. I smell like somebody I don't recognise. I'm not sure why that is, which is a bit putting off. Like, I think if you can smell yourself, then you really know that you smell bad. It'd be really nice to just like have a wash somewhere actually, but I decided to ditch the deodorant on this trip because I brought it on the other side, and then I was just like, no, I'm not bringing anything that's unnecessary. Deodorant was one of the things that I axed. Now I'm starting to wonder if that was a good idea. So we're walking between these two really narrow walls, which is actually quite hard because it's pretty overgrown, and then just to make it worse, on the ground it's quite stony. This bit's better than the last section, but the stones are all up and down, and so you can't see the path a lot of the time because of the weeds, so you're not sure where to put your feet. It's really like tricky, and there's steps and boulders and stones of all different sizes on it. So we're just taking it slowly. Hopefully it'll finish soon, and then we get a footbridge at the bottom. Just got to the bottom, it looks like somebody dropped their inhaler. Somebody's put it on the post. So if anybody's lost their inhaler, it's just here, which is, where the hell are we? Who knows? It's close to May's shop, if you know where that is. Yeah, it's a nice picnic spot next to the river. We've just managed to wash our clothes, we've washed our feet, we've washed ourselves a little bit. It makes such a big difference. It's a really nice little spot. We're also doing some drying the tent out on the bridge. We've got the footbridge. I feel like proper vagabonds now. This is family over the other side. It's actually a nice little beach part there. We probably would have been there if they went there. We must look like real wild people. We came in, I started washing myself in the river. Paul found some bilberry bushes and just started munching things off the bushes by the side. And then now we've just like been washing all of our undies and socks and shorts and things in the river, and we're going to stop and have a bite to eat. It's warmed up a lot. It's like, I don't know, probably 18-20 degrees, something like that. Just a nice temperature, you know, it's not overwhelming or anything, so just loving it. What a great break in the day. It's now like 1 o'clock, it's lunchtime. Covered a few miles, don't really mind or care where we are, to be honest. We're just going to make progress, sort of head towards Ponden, or maybe go further if we feel like it, and wild camp. If you get a river like this, you don't actually even need soap. I found if you just rinse yourself, rinse your clothes, you don't smell. It's, maybe you smell a bit, but you don't like stink, you know. So it's a really good way of just kind of keeping yourself fresh, and keeping all your clothes hygienic as well. I mean, obviously I'm not anti-backing them all, but just rinsing them out in fresh running water like this, it's just perfect. do you say it, Paul?
Sounds good. Once.
We found the sign for May's shop. This is the pasty stop off that is rather exciting. I can tell you, don't know what it is about walking, just makes you want to eat pasties and pies. So we're going to go there. Hopefully they'll have something. Okay, we're full of pasties, which is just brilliant. We had a nice, actually they had vegan food as well, just like a little shop, and they had biscuits and some dried food, so we stocked up with food. We actually saw a couple of walkers that we saw a couple of nights ago in a different campsite. They're just ahead of us, probably stopping in the same place as us tonight. So I just checked out about campsites, and we have now got a booking in a campsite in Ponden. And it says on the Hiker app, which I'm using from time to time, that it's 2 hours and 9 minutes walk from where we are. I'm not sure if it'll take us 2 hours and 9 minutes, but it shouldn't be too far off, I think. Maybe it'll be 3 hours or something like that. So yeah, I'm kind of reassured by that, to be honest. It's 4 o'clock now. We don't really want to have another 4 or 5 hours of walking before we get somewhere where we can sleep, because the other option was to wild camp again. We could have done it, you know, but I think it's nice to mix it up. You know, if you've got a night of wild camping, it's nice to follow it with a night where you've got fresh water. You can, you know, get yourself clean, properly clean, and kind of just connect with people as well, because actually when you wild camp you don't really see people, you only really meet people in campsites. So we just met this couple called Nick and Lenka that are walking the entire Pennine Way, and they're really sweet people. They seem really nice, so we're going to see them again, bump into them. They seem to have a similar pace to us at the moment, so life is good. Look, the sun's even come out. Scenery's nice, walking's fairly flat. I mean, we're going over there. It's like nice little gentle rolling hills and pleasant views. Not horrible slabs and bogs, so we're all good, you know. There's the first reservoir. So we're going to pass that reservoir and then carry on to a second reservoir, which is going to be where the campsite's going to be. Came across some animal feces that we don't recognise, and they turned out to be from geese, and here's a bunch of them, look, just next to the trail. They're having a chat. I wonder what they're talking about. So I've been walking along this little track stroke road, whatever it is, and here's the second reservoir that we've come across. So you have to cut through and go across to the other side and then walk along it and then go over that hill basically. Alright, so we're at reservoir number 2 now. This one goes around the corner, believe it or not. It's pretty long and big. And there doesn't seem to be much water. I suppose because of all the hot weather perhaps, or maybe it's just a summer winter thing. But there's like the water looks pretty low level. There's like a big beachy area on the sides of all of the reservoirs that we've encountered. Quite nice actually, nice level walking, it's quite fast. And now we've got some sun, which is good because the wind's a little bit chilly. We come across this gate and it's actually locked, but we're supposed to be on the other side of it, and there's these really bizarre little steps that look kind of scary to get over in the wall, which I'm actually tempted to use and try out, but Paul's going to go for the other option of actually climbing over the gate. So let's do it. We're coming into a different landscape now. I've been following these flagstones for quite a long time, back over that hill there. So now we're sort of coming around to come down the other side. We can probably pretty much see where we're going. There's a bank of trees. Maybe you can make them out just in the centre there. So we've got to walk around those trees. I think it's about half an hour's walk to the trees, maybe, I don't know, another 15 minutes across to the campsite, which will mean we'll probably get there. It's now 6:45, so maybe 7:30 we'll be there. Fingers crossed. Feels like it's going on forever, this bit. And the hiker app tells us that the campsite is 1 hour 10 minutes from the user. Except it's been saying 1 hour 10 minutes for the last hour. So yeah, it's not changing. What's this? Top Withens. These are the ruins of Top Withens. One of a cluster of farmhouses situated in the midst of Yorkshire moorland overlooking Haworth. Oh, it's associated with the Brontes. Alright, so we're really close now to the campsite. About 10 minutes maybe, slightly less. There's a reservoir just down here. As you can see, I've got my woolly hat on. It got a bit cold in the wind. I've actually warmed up a bit and again now that we've come down off the hill. Still a bit breezy though. So we're happy to get there. It's 7:45 now. Getting really hungry, to be honest, even though we stopped for some snacks. Okay, I'm going to show you the reservoir. Right, can you see? I think because we're going down I'm going to lose sight of it, but it's just that slither of water at the top that you can see is the reservoir. So we have to go kind of by the side of the reservoir and then hopefully it's just there. Ah, there we are. There's a sign for a campsite. Oh, hello. Hi. Oh, you're cute, aren't you? Ponden Mill camping, yes! Ooh.